Okay, hey guys, it's Chris Prefontaine with Smart Real Estate Coach, and I am with Dave Patton from Michigan. Dave is a high six associate. I'm going to ask some questions about that later on, but Dave, welcome to the video. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us here.
Sure. Thank you, Chris.
This is actually going out, Dave, as you probably know, on probably a deal structure video, because I want them to hear you as a new person, you know, what the numbers look like, and just remind these guys and me how long you've been at this with us.
About 8 months now.
About 8 months, perfect. And we're gonna, this month that we're filming this, you actually had 3 taken and 2 pending taken almost, right?
Yeah, there's 2 contracts that I'm waiting to get back any day.
Awesome. So it could be a 5-deal month or 3 and 2. Not bad, not too shabby.
No, not bad.
All right,
at
so
all.
let's
Could
do
be
this.
6.
What the first deal we're going to go over, you don't have to say the street or anything, but the first deal, just for privacy, is going to be what, an owner financing sandwich subject to?
Subject to.
Okay. And the source was what? How'd you find the deal?
Through my VA, Les.
Okay, so Les called. Now, this is important for these guys to know who are watching. So you have VA services that are available in investor resources, but because Dave's a high 6 associate, he uses the same person we use. So it's pretty cool. So let's do this. It was a VA FSBO, and let's go over the 3 paydays. Unless you have any nuances about the beginning of that, let's go over the 3 paydays.
Sure. I would say there's a little bit of a nuance. The VA lead came in, and the guy was looking to get like 52. He had it listed for 52, but in talking to him, he only owed 45 and a half. So your videos from the past talking to AOs, he was basically going to get nothing out of the home. So I asked him if he'd be willing to do not an AO, a subject to. He said yes, and it moved forward. So we're getting it for 45, and it appraised for somewhere about 65.
Nice.
So yeah, I've had a ton of interest in it. I've just had it up for a week now.
Wow, that's good too. So let me just paraphrase real quick, Dave, because there's a little bleep in the sound, then it came back fine. So you bought it, you're buying it subject to, 45,000 is the amount he owes, 45 and change, and you made it contingent upon you finding a buyer or not, I forget.
No, not
just buying it
to it, because the appraisal was about 65,000.
Yeah, too good.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go over the payday projections for 1, 2, and 3 for these guys on a nice small house.
Sure. First one is hoping to get 10,000 up front. We have a deposit for payday number 1. Payday number 2 is about 330 a month on a spread. As you know, it's subject to. We could keep it theoretically forever.
Right.
But I just ran the numbers based on 36 months.
In other words, we wouldn't push them, but if they get financing, great, but we're not going to push them.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. So at 36 months, payday number 2 is 11,880.
Nice.
And then for payday number 3, it would be 14 and a half. Then with the principal pay down, that adds almost another 5. So the total of all 3 paydays will be over 41,000.
Okay, now listen, this is pretty cool. So you get a house for 45 and the profit's 41. People just sometimes can't fathom that. So because the principal pay down and everything that we do and the spreads, so that's really cool. Now the reason this is good, Dave, is that's a very low end house for your area. And it's good for people to know, look, it's not all these 100K deals. I want them to know that, you know, the 45 grand is a good deal. Okay, now what's the second one as far as the source, how you got it and how you're buying it?
Sure, the second one was off a Sly broadcast. So it's expired listings.
Okay.
And followed up with him at the beginning of the summer. He had it listed still, and I just kept following up with him. He got sick of the real estate agent, and he called me back. So that was a nice call to get.
Okay, so there's some lessons there for everybody here. So number 1, you use the Sly broadcast, Dave said. Now that's part of, for the listeners to hear, that's part of the expired dialing process. That's part of the QLS and also a little bit in the seller specials program. And Dave works that system. He just follows the system. And this isn't brain science. He follows the system. Then the follow-up, key point that you made, because a lot of our money is in the follow-up. It's more so with FSBOs, but even expireds, he just got tired, right? He got tired of not selling. Awesome. And then what do the 3 paydays look like on this one?
With this one, has a little caveat to it, but I'll stick to the 3 paydays. Got it for about $361, and I think we could sell it for $400, just over a 3-year period. So payday number 1 will probably be about $20,000. That might be light, but I'll go conservative. Payday number 2 is nice. It should be $1,000 a month.
Nice.
$1,000 a month for 36 months is $36,000. So it's a nice monthly cash flow.
Yep, 1,000 is a big one. See, the complete opposite of what we just said, right? That's high. The other one's low.
Yep, they're all different. Payday number 3 should be $19,000, and then the principal pay down is $400 a month. So over the 3 years, that payday is $33,400. So the total is just shy of $90,000.
90,000 payday. Sorry, all 3 paydays. Okay, so you went from one end of the spectrum to the other. And what was the sales price again, or the buy price, I should say?
$361.
Okay, so still a huge return for a 3-something house. That's nice. I like to tell people, Dave, and yours, that these 2 are different, but on owner financing, I know in my mind, and for the listeners, if they're like 190, let's say 200,000 and above, and they're doing owner financing on a debt-free home, and they get at least, let's say 4 years out of that, 3 or 4, it's a $100K deal, no matter how you twist it. So real cool. Anything, Dave, because you're fairly new, I just want to see if you had anything, I don't know, if someone brand new is watching, they didn't even go through QLS video program yet. Any thoughts for them? I mean, we didn't preempt this, so whatever you think, if you want to share a nugget or 2.
Hard work pays off. I had a sales background. I came into this, and I don't know if you remember, but I'm like, oh, I've got a long sales process, history. I'll start coming quicker. And, I started at the beginning of a hot season, and it's a little different sales process. So there's always a learning curve, and it just takes hard work. You can't quit or you'll get nothing. Perseverance, that 10X books from Grant Cardone was great. You stick to it, and all of a sudden the floodgates will open, and I should have 3 more contracts in the next week or 2.
That's pretty cool.
So, and all 3 houses are $500,000. So they're all $100,000 or more in the way of paydays. So.
Okay, so here's what's key. I just coincidentally, before I get on with you, I did a quick video with Ryan about just committing for 3 years. You know how I'm big on this, because there are people that stop. So you got all these deals here all of a sudden in your lap, but you're 8 months in. There are plenty of people inside our program, but a lot of other programs where they'll just stop at month 2, 3, or 4 because the person selling the program said, this is a get rich quick, it's going to happen tomorrow. We don't say that because it's going to take time. Some people luck out, but more than not, it's a 6-month process in that range like you experienced. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Another aspect, Grant Cardone, I gleaned from that book was that he had some success as a salesperson the first couple of years, but he mastered his craft, and that's when his success really came. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Whatever success I can get now is great, but I'm looking to master the craft.
Yeah, well, that reminds me of my wife, and I'll say this politically correct. My wife was giving me crap the other day, kidding, and said, "What, because we've got it dialed in now. Okay, this works like clockwork." I didn't say easy. I said it works like clockwork when you work it, like Dave said. But she said, "Why did it take you 50 years?" So, because essentially that's what it took. I'm 52. So it's kind of funny. It takes time, because to master the craft is what made me think of that, Dave. It takes time. And people say, why do you still do it? Because the deals never, you said at the beginning, the deals are never the same. They're always challenging. They're always different. You're pivoting different ways. You're learning how to pivot. It's pretty cool. I wanted you to also mention, because you joined and then you came to the QLS event. I again, without preempting you, any thoughts you have for the listener to come to, we have 2 annual events now, the QLS Live and the Business Scaling Secrets. Any thoughts? You went to your first event. Any thoughts for them who haven't been?
Well, I loved your saying, it's getting a drink from the fire hose. So there was a lot, and I'm still, I get home, I start to prioritize. I have so much to tackle, books to read, and things to work on sales aspects, all of that. And so you try and prioritize. So I have plenty of things on my plate, but it's great. It's filled with information. What really helps is contacts with people, staying in contact with them, hearing about their successes and all of that.
And trials, right? And challenges.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, good stuff, Dave. I appreciate you spending some time, and I don't want to keep these guys too long because you and I could gab for another hour and they'd be like, what are these guys doing? So thanks a bunch, guys. And I hope you enjoyed the deal structure. Probably Deal Structure Sunday is what you're seeing. And get your butt registered for the next QLS Live event. If you did not go through the QLS video program yet, you don't realize this, that event's free. It's free. If you just go through the video program, which if you're serious about doing the business, you want to go through the video program. It's 64 plus videos. Dave, thanks again, buddy. Have a great holiday, and I look forward to working and getting many, many more deals.
Absolutely. Thank you.